Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shemal Shai Bashem Makakwadash. Shalom. Nawathan Kal Lalyam La Yahweh Shemal Shai Bashem Makakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video Voting the Jump Shot, the charagma, the beast of the bottomless pit, and they that wondered at the beast. That's a long title right there. But anyway, you see before you're identifying EDOM thoroughly, and that he is the so I was listening to this beloved saint, elder, young Padawan, up and coming elder out of the West Coast on the GMS inspiration and motivation. Now, inspiration, before I do a video, I look for inspiration. I look to be inspired. And inspired just simply means to breathe. Somebody inspires you. It means to breathe into you. Somebody says something and it makes you, kids, they want to be like Mike, or they want to be LeBron, or they want to be Muhammad Ali. When we were kids, everybody wanted to be. So these people, athletes, actors, or whatever, they inspire people to do things. Anyway, let me get into this. So I listened to the video, and it kind of ended. So there's got to be a part 2, part 3, or whatever. And basically, if you part of this, you already know this precepts. The precepts that he goes through, we're already familiar with the precepts. So it inspired me to go into some precepts and some keywords, and of course, to deal with the Bible Hub commentary, just to see what they're. So you got to, when you're at war, this is a spiritual war, right? You got to know what weapons the enemy has, what new weapons the enemies have. That's why in war, when they capture somebody, especially of a high rank, they'll say, give me some information. What new weapons, what strategy. That's why you don't kill key people in war. You put them in you put them in what do you call it? Prisoner of war, POW. Because they could just as soon say, well, just kill them. No, you want information. So in this spiritual war between us and mainly Christianity and the small hats, not so much the Kemetic people. Look, nobody should have anything to do with those Kemetic people because it's a complete waste of time. They're not going to wake up. They're not going to wake up. Our battle is mainly with the so-called Christian community and the small hats. That's why they came after so hard after Kyrie Irving and Nick Cannon and Nick Cannon. There's a new video out, a couple of videos out on him and his take on this whole thing because he experienced it. And when you do enough searching around, you realize that, and Jake is starting to use this term, and some Jake, what did I hear from? I think it was Nick Cannon that used the term buck breaking. And I guess he found out what that meant after he got butt broke. So they're in the process of butt breaking Kyrie Irving. Now, when you look that word up, if you go to Google, it'll take you to Wikipedia. But it'll lead you. Wikipedia has other uh, sites under the umbrella of Wikipedia. But if you look it up, it breaks it down. It says, matter of fact, let me go ahead and get it. Let me go ahead and get it because this is exactly what they're doing to Kyrie Irving. They're butt breaking him. A buck, I say butt breaking, but buck breaking, which is really butt breaking him. Oh no, that's a buck breaking. And so Nick Cannon mentioned that he was being interviewed by a small hat, like a younger small hat, like a secular small hat, and he didn't understand what the word meant. So they don't know, like Kyrie. Kyrie saw the movie. He maybe look when you watch a movie, it's a 3-hour movie, documentary. There's a lot of things said that you might overlook, but their focus is on you watch a movie that's blase. Anyway, there's a movie out, and I believe you can catch it for free on Odyssey. I'm almost positive of that. It says, so let me read the movie, Butt Breaking, right? The movie put out by director Tariq Nasheed. The history of sexual exploitation of Black people, mainly Black men, by the dominant society, particularly the sexual exploitation of Black men. The film draws parallels between ancient forms of sexual exploitation to the modern forms used on Black people today. Think about, you should be thinking about Kyrie Irving and Ye. But anyway, okay, it's Wiktionary, which is part of Wikipedia. It doesn't say too much. It says buck breaking. I say butt breaking. Buck in derogatory U.S. sense of a Black man, and breaking as in breaking a horse. That's why they said, they asked for an apology, offered him $500,000. They didn't want to accept it. Oh, by the way, Kyrie Irving is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million. He gets let's say a salary of $35 million a year. It averages out to $35 million a year for playing for the NBA, which is the commissioner is a small hat. We didn't know that. Maybe some of you did. But he also has endorsement deals, and his endorsement deal 2021, 2022 is almost $100 million. So he's been playing for years. He's not a rookie. He's been playing for years. So I don't know how his spending habits is, but he's probably sitting on at least $500 million. So he doesn't have to play anymore. If he's worth $500 million, guess what? He can live off $1 million for the next 500 years. So what the hell is wrong with Jake? Anyway, it says buck breaking. Offensive, the alleged act of publicly punishing a male slave, because we're all still slaves. We're all still slaves. But you got slaves that's doing better than the slavery of, it's a different type of slavery. They had going back 100 plus years ago, a little bit more than 100 plus years ago. They put yokes of iron around you. They put chains and they put shackles on you. But now the yokes of iron and the chains and the shackles are through contracts, through paper. They got you through paperwork. Okay, a male slave, typically the first flogging flogging him. Let me click on the word flogging. Infliction of punishment by dealing blows or whipping. What lawbreakers like that need is a good flogging. It means to get whipped. So they're whipping them with words, with paperwork. Because they're holding over him. Look, we can get you out of the NBA. But guess what? All you jakes should just get out the NBA. And you ain't gonna do that. You love money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So guess what? All you niggas are evil, including Kyrie Irving, including uh, Nick Cannon, including all of them, man. I don't care if they call themselves an Israelite. They're wicked as hell. There's enough CEOs and super rich jakes out there that we don't need this man no more. We don't need this motherfucker no more. Just saying. It says offensive, the alleged act of publicly, and they punished him before with the jump shot. So guess what? I would say, and I could be wrong, but I doubt it, that he's the only NBA player that didn't take the jump shot. Because they play each other. You have Cleveland playing New York, you have New York playing LA, you have LA playing Boston playing New York. So they home games and abroad games. You can't say, well, I play for the LA Lakers, and we don't go out, we don't travel. Y'all got to come. No, then you wouldn't be. Then you'll never win a championship, especially the NBA championships. You got to play half the games in one, like you have the Eastern Conference and Western Conference champions. They play each other. So you got to play, the West has to go on, the West Conference players has to go on the East for 3 games, 4 games, half of the game. Then they got to go back to the home game. And normally you have what's called home advantage. So guess what? All of them had to have taken the jump shot, except for Kyrie. And so what did they do to him? They publicly, try to humiliate him, but he got past that, So this thing is over. They're trying to bring the whole C-19 back. And if you motherfuckers fall for that, y'all a bunch of dummies. But so they did it before. So we're talking what, year and a half, 2 years ago. He stood up. They were saying we got to watch this end. And that's what they say, but them small hats, they say that behind closed doors, this end. You know what they call us? But they ain't gonna say it in front of us because they're a bunch of devils. They call us Fatzas, which is German, Yiddish, which means end, the N word. They'll say Fatzas. They'll say it. This Svatsa has some nerve. This fucking Svatsa has some nerve. That sounds just like one of them small hats. But they're smart. They said, wait a minute, don't say it, don't let them hear you say it, because they're gonna turn the tables on your ass. And anti-sem is a made-up word. There's no such thing as a sem. There's no such thing as a sem. That's just a word that they made up. The actual term is a shem, because that word sem and anti-sem only applies to them. Doesn't apply to the Shemites. Shemitic people that's one group, and then you have the small hats by themselves, which are Semitic people, not Shemitic. It's a made-up word. So you can't say, well, I'm a Semitic. No, you're not, unless you Amari Stoudemire, he got into it. He was part of I'll get back into the thing. I'm a little all over the place, but my brain is like a pinball machine. Got a lot of information coming to me. He was part of the IOG, which is the Israel of God, which they believe that they're the descendants of the Israelites. But Amari was a part of it. But Amari basically changed his tune, and he's a so-called convert to Judaism. See, they'll accept you for that because when you con when you become a when you become Judaized, that means you're accepting the religion of Judaism. That doesn't mean that you're a Jew because they say he's a black. Uh, what's the term? He accepted the black Jewish concept, meaning he's a black man. Just like any, you can be Chinese and convert to Islam, or you can become a Roman Catholic, or you can call yourself a Jew. You know, so look him up. Look up Amari Stoudemire. He started out with the IOG, the Israel of God, out of Chi-Town, but now he's connected with the Small Hats. What's the dude's name? He looked like Biggie. He from Washington State, I believe, and he moved. He became an Orthodox so-called, but they accept him in there because he's not saying he's a descendant of the people. He's saying that he converted to the Jewish ways. All right. The difference between them and Kyrie's kind of saying, well, no, we one of those people. Nick Cannon says we one of those people. We're the actual descendants that go back to the people. And then you got this clown, Vocab Malone, saying it's impossible for you to be the people. Well, is it possible for black people anywhere on the planet Earth to be those people? And the answer is yes. The Ethiopian Falashas. The reason why the Falashas the doors were open to Israel, the land of Israel, to come in is based upon the right. What is it? The right of return. If you're an Israelite, that's all throughout the law. If you're an Israelite that moved out of Palestine, Israel, the land of Canaan, and you have, it's 10 generations or 5 generations, and your 5th generation goes back to Israel, pursuant to Deuteronomy 16:16, and you say, you know what, I want to stay here now. So they got it. First of all, what tribe are you from? I'm from the tribe of Issachar. Okay, so let's go to the land of Issachar, and we're gonna give you a plot of land. Okay, so so when the Small Hats allowed the Falashans to come in, they're saying that you are Israelites also. You descended from the ancient Israelites. The Ethiopians look just like us. That's what the scriptures say. Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians, O children of Israel? So you can't. So how do you know, Vocab Malone, if my line goes back to one of the Ethiopian so-called black Jews, which they're not the people any damn way? And that's not far-fetched because I have relatives. I have cousins, uncles and cousins that are actually Cushites. Relatives that are actually Cushites. And our group came up with them and they act just like Jake. It says the alleged act of publicly punishing a male, meaning a black male, a Jake, slave, typically by first flogging him or whipping him. And so they're whipping this guy. And basically when they said, what about the apology? We don't want the 500,000. We want the apology. We want you to say that you're Toby. You're not Kunta Kinte, you're Toby. And then eventually he said, I'm Toby. I apologize. And guess what? Okay, here's a list of 6 things to get back with the NBA. So that's a high-tech modern lynching. That's all that is, a flogging. But it ends with a sexual punishment as well. And subsequently, sexually assaulting or raping him in front of other slaves. This, I'm not saying this. This is Wikipedia saying that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch that movie if I can get it on Odyssey. I'm gonna watch the butt breaking movie, produced and directed by Tariq Nasheed. Let me read it again. Buck breaking. Buck is another way of saying the N word. There was a movie out, Sidney Poitier and what's his brother, Sidney Poitier and damn, I can't think of his name. Light-skinned actor, and he did a song on Ed Sullivan Show, one of them shows years ago. Did a duet with damn, I can't believe I can't remember the brother's name. Anyway, he did a duet with an Edomite woman, and at the end of the song, they kissed each other on the lips, and he got backlash for that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll be mad if I can't. Let me do this. Let me go to Buck and the Preacher. Buck and there it goes. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte. That's Harry Belafonte. Sidney Poitier. Ruby Dee, when she was real young, married to damn, what's his name? Shit. And I met him. I actually met him. I said, hey, you damn, what's his name? Ruby Dee. Ozzie Davis. I met him at Carnegie Hall years ago. And I said, how you doing, Mr. Davis? He said, do you know where the bathroom is? And I said, it's right over there. Anyway, yeah, this is when she was young. Had the Gadite influence going. She was in Jungle Fever. She played Flippers, Gator and Flipper, or whatever the funny ass names. She played the mother when she was a lot older. A very beautiful woman. She had a lot of Gad in her, the Indian in her family. He's from the Indies. He would be classified as Benjamin. He's classified as Benjamin. Guess what? Before he became famous, he used to live, before I was born, he was a neighbor to my mother, my parents. Okay. So let me see. All right, I'm all over the place. Please forgive me. All right, let me come back over here. So the movie Buck and the Preacher, Buck means, nigga, the nigga and the preacher. And that's and in order for you to fully break a buck, you got to sexually assault them. I'm reading it right here. So what's going on with these jakes behind closed doors? The actors, the comedians, the entertainers overall, the athletes, did they all bend over? Because they ain't gonna tell nobody that, yes, I did. No, they're not gonna say that. What about them Hollywood parties? The different rooms that you go in. You open up one, who did that thing? You open up the door. He said, oh shit, I closed. Oh shit, that's so-and-so. And the higher you go up there in Hollywood, in that world, in that celebrity world, you got to do these things, man. So this guy, they let him go with the jump thing because they know it's all bullshit. But then they got him on this one. He said, he just said, I saw a movie, and and I went whatever, Twitter or whatever. He said, oh, this is a good movie, you should watch it. You don't remember everything of the movie. The reason why they're mad is because he could identify with the fact that he could be one of the people of the people of the Most High. Okay, so it ends with a raping him in front of other slaves in order to humiliate him. And that's what they're doing. He offered the 500,000. He said, I was sorry, you know, but no, but you got to do this. Now, once he does all of them things, they're going to have another 6 things. You notice the 6 things you got to do. Esau goes under the vibration of the 3 6s. Okay, so I'm all over the place. But, okay, let me come back over here. If I can find it. Okay, here it is right here. So anyway, watch this video. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the other parts of this video. And so I was thinking about the beast, the the beast, the book of Revelation. So I said, and we know, we know Revelation, Daniel 7, Daniel 2, Revelation. We know we can identify everything that's said in those books. But sometimes you got to go through it in case you have to explain it to somebody. So he went back to the basics. And you can listen to the basics forever because that keeps your foundation strong. Anyway, now let me do this here. So I'm watching a video and certain keywords came out. So I put in the word, what did I do? I put in the word beast. No, I didn't put in the word beast, but did I? This is what I did. I went to the Bible commentary, Bible Hub, and I believe I put in first Daniel 7 and 7. So I went to the commentary, and they pretty much all of them said, oh, that's talking about the Roman Empire. That's definitely the Roman Empire. So then I went to Revelation 13 and 1, and I went to the commentary, and not all of them said the Roman Empire. I put in the word Rome or Roman, but most of them said that's the 7 heads and the 10 horns. That's definitely the Roman Empire. So what I did was, how did I do this? So I'm looking at beasts. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. And I'm going to say this here. I'm going to go right here. I just want to go to Revelation. Daniel 2, talking about the same, Daniel's saw the same vision as John. Revelation 4 and 7 is talking about the angels. This is talking about the various beasts, which has nothing to do with Esau. Esau is within that, but it represents different beast stages in this final prophecy. So now we're here in Revelation 11, right? It says, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit. So I looked up this word, bottomless pit. So now, when did they finish their testimony? When all the apostles died and gone, you had the 7 churches, they all got old and died. You had the Byzantine Empire for 1,000 years plus, and then you had Esau come back into power. Revelation 20, and we're going to go to that. So when did the beast ascend out of the bottomless pit? Key person is Cristobal Colon, which he's supposed to be a small hat, a crypto Jew, shall make war against them So when did they make war against us? When they took us down on this side of the world, the Byzantine Empire, the Turks sacked Byzantium, and that place to this day, Byzantium is called Constantinople. It used to be called Byzantium. I'm sorry, Byzantium, Constantinople, and what's the Turkish? Istanbul, I believe it is. Istanbul. Istanbul, formerly, matter of fact, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me fact check. Istanbul. I'm sorry. Come back. Istanbul. The city was founded as Byzantium. Didn't I just say that? In the 7th century, 600 AD BCE, by Greek settlers from Megara, which they were Israelites. In 330 CE, Common Era, or the Christian era, the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great made it his imperial capital, Byzantium, renaming it first as New Rome, because he was remember Jake took over the seats of the Roman rulers late 90s AD. And Nerva was the first. It says Nova Roma, because he was the emperor of Rome, but he was also the head spiritualist or Christianity. That's what Christianity was all about. Like in the United States, you have a separation between church and state. During the time of the Byzantine Empire, you had church and state together. And then as Constantinople, after himself, it was first called Byzantium. That's why they called it the Byzantine Empire. Then it was called after himself, Constantinople, after himself. The city grew in size and influence, eventually becoming a beacon light of the Silk Road. So there was a lot of trade going on. And one of the most important cities in history. That's an important city. So what was his name? What was it named after the Turkish took them over? They said we're gonna call it Istanbul, Turkey. So there's a little bit of history. Okay, so now let's come back over here. So I'm gonna say this. Everybody voting right now. I'm gonna make this statement. Everybody that's going out there voting, maybe you voted in the past and you got tired of voting like a lot of Jake men. There's a hard time to get Jake men to vote, because you know what? Jake men see things different from the Jake women. They see hope, the beacon of light. They see the sliver of light. Jake said, this is all bullshit, man. We've been going through this bullshit. This voting bullshit hasn't lifted us up. We're still living in the hood and the ghettos and the slums and projects. Those saying the last hired and the first fired. So fuck this system. That's what they're saying. That's what Jake is saying. F the system. So you got our women getting on us. See, there's a problem with you, but no, we don't have no. The problem is you and your man, Esau. We know that this is all BS. So they're not voting. They said, "Fuck, we're not participating in this mess. It's all BS." And that's spiritually part of the MOTB. It's spiritually part of the MOTB, because ultimately they're going to deceive you into taking the MOTB. What leads to that? Getting a jump shot, voting, working for the government, joining the military, becoming a politician. All these politicians, they're gonna Well, they had to make an example to take the jump shot, whether it was water in there, what do you call that? Saline solution, which is salt water, which doesn't do anything to the body. But they gave you the real shit, which is killing Jake and Esau, dumbass motherfuckers. Excuse my French. But so the people that normally vote are going to take the jump shot, right? So if you take the jump shot, if you're a police officer, and Bishop Nate should be happy that he's out of that whole police situation, because he would have been confronted with taking that jump shot. So, taking the jump shot, joining the military, being a politician, voting, being a policeman, being a civil servant, even working in certain jobs. So the ones of you that went out there and voted are the same ones that lined up and took the jump shot, are the same ones that's going to take that charagma, because you're part of the system. And the reason why you're going to take it, because you love this system. See, the Jake man is pulling out of voting because they no longer love this system. They said, we've been dealing with this system. We haven't got reparations. That's being talked about. One of the leaders is Tariq Nasheed. He's leading that. And ain't nothing going to come out of that. All you're going to get is what this man gives you is crumbs. Well, there's certain benefits of voting. Yes, there is. And it's called crumbs. And you get enough crumbs together, nigga, you can make you a little slice of pie. We finally got a piece of the pie. How do you make a pie? With crumbs. That's how a nigga make a pie, with crumbs. It says, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit. You brothers have been in this thing for years. You already know. I'm preaching to the choir. These are mainly for some of the new ones, and just keep you sharp. So what is the bottomless pit? And when did the beast, who is the beast? And when did the beast ascend out of the bottomless pit? Like I said, if you go to the Bible commentary, the Bible Hub commentary, it breaks it down. They say, yep, except for Cambridge. Cambridge didn't say nothing, so they must know something. But they said, yep, it's definitely the Roman Empire. Daniel 7:7 is definitely the Roman Empire. Revelation 17, Revelation 12, Revelation 13 is definitely the Roman Empire. But then now the current beast is the Vatican City. Come on, man. It says, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit. When did this happen? When 1,000 years in Revelation 20 was over for them, they came into power. They took us down. They couldn't take us down within the 1,000 years. It really was more than 1,000 years, because we were running shit before Constantine came on the scene. You had two empires. You had the Roman Empire, you had the Western Roman Empire, which was ruled by Esau, and you had the Eastern Roman Empire, which was ruled by Jake. And the Western Roman Empire fell, and Jake kept the empire, the Eastern Empire, going. The Eastern Empire, Constantine, all he was that was a continuation of the Roman Empire. But the official religion was Christianity. That's what the whole Nicene Council was all about. It was centered around the divinity of our Lord, whether he had spiritual power or not. That ascended, but it was mixed with occultic things too. That's where you get the Roman Catholic Church from Constantine. You go into the history of the Roman Catholic Church, it's going to mention the Byzantine Empire that ascended out of the bottomless pit. That's Europe, mainly Spain. That's where the power came out of Spain. Rome, Italy was one time the great power, but then the power was transferred to Spain, which shouldn't have but Edomites anyway. It says that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them. Who? The saints. They shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And how they do that? They took down the so-called Byzantine Empire. Around the same time, they took down the Moors, because Moors are Israelites. And Moors didn't just embrace Islam, they embraced the Lord's statutes and commandments. And they'll tell you, ask them more. Moors say, yeah, we're Israelites too. And shall overcome them. The Turks sacked Constantinople. And then you had Esau, then you had Columbus come on the other side of the world, and then you got the saints on the other side of the world. The Indios of North, Central, and South America are Israelites. Anybody that's teaching like you got this guy, Ron Dalton, he knows certain things, but he doesn't have the full truth. So when they bring him out and they present him, we're going to be the experts. I set forth the apostles last. So we're going to come with the whole truth, and they're afraid of us. ADL is talking about the one Westers. Go to their articles. Go to the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Hebrew Israelites. You got two types of Hebrew Israelites. You got some that convert to Judaism, and then you got the others, Black Hebrew Israelites. We're focusing on them. Why? Because we're simply saying we are those people. We descended from the ancient people of Israel. And for us to say that is to say that you're not the people. Will the real Israelite please stand? And you notice they don't call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Jews, and they call themselves Semites. It says, out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them. And they did that, put us in slavery, took the lands of North, Central, and South America, and killed them. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. I don't want to make this too long. Okay, this is what I wanted. Okay, this is Revelation 17, because I was going to take the word, I was going to take bottomless pit and put it in the search engine. And this was going to come up anyway. Revelation 17, verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, that's the Roman Empire, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So that's the fulfillment of Revelation 13, 1 and 2, and go into destruction. What's going to be utterly destroyed? The capital of the beast, or the seat of Satan, which is America. And then the rest of the beast is going to die, because we're going to go around the world. See, when we get beamed up into them ships, Psalm 91, when we come back down, the New Jerusalem coming from heaven, Revelation 21, why are we coming down from heaven? We're going to come down with new angelic extraterrestrial bodies. We're going to be the X-Men. We're going to be the Black Adams. We're going to be the Brown Adams, you know? And we're going to take the world, and they're going to try to fight us. And then we're going to use the spiritual power and wipe them out. Watch the movie Battlefield Earth with John Travolta and Vernon Forrest. If that's his name. No. Forrest Whitaker. I'm thinking about the boxer, Vernon Forrest. Forrest Whitaker. Excellent movie. And they clearly show you that was Jake taking over Esau. But then Esau got back in power. It says 8th verse. The beast that thou saw was Roman Empire and is not. Roman Empire fell. Jake took it over and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. That power shall come out of Spain. The great power came out of Spain. It went from Rome to Spain. The Pope was from Spain. And going to perdition, destruction, that's America. But then when that place is set on fire, we're going to go and we're going to take over all these Edomites and all these other nations. And we're going to set up work assignments, Isaiah 24. We're going to have them in pits and we're going to bring them out and make them work. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written. Who's going to wonder? And I'm going to go into this word wonder. And wonder, meaning fall in love with, whose names were not written in the book of life. And you got Israelites whose names are not written in the book of life. Ultimately, they're going to be saved, but the ones that are written in the book of life, that's a whole nother subject. The book of life are the elect, the 144,000, the multitude in Revelation 7, verse 9, whose names were not written in the book of life. That's why I said earlier, the ones of you that, anybody that goes out there voting, you've been voting for years, but you might have voted in the past and stopped doing it when you were younger, you didn't know no better. You said, F it, like Jake is pulling out from that whole voting thing. Any of you that are continuously to vote, any of you that went out there yesterday and went out there and voted, guess what? You took the jump shot, and guess what? You're going to take the charagma, and guess what? You're going to be destroyed. So forget about Jake. If you see Jake can't get it, the Apostle Paul said, if they're ignorant, leave them ignorant. You know what? 1 Corinthians chapter 14. It says, whose names were not written in the book of life. That's why we call ourselves the hopefully elect, because we hope that our names are written in the book of life. You have to have some form of humility in you, man. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. The word endure means to harden, to strengthen. And what does it mean? Harden with what? With this gospel. The Lord said in St. John 4, around about the 34th verse, the disciples said, we have meat. You want to come get some meat? We're going to get some meat, meaning meat that you eat. They weren't talking about going to the club. He said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me, my Father, and to finish his work, meaning don't take no breaks. He was on a mission. He was on a mission. And being on a mission, you focus. You focus. Don't turn to the right hand. Don't turn to the left hand. You're focused. That's what a mission is. Look up the word mission. When somebody's on a mission. There was a show in a series of movies called Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise. He's always focused. Right? So guess what? We're spiritual Tom Cruises. All right? So when you come into this thing, and when you're a boxer, if you want to be world champ, guess what? You got to be focused throughout your whole career. You can't slack. Floyd Mayweather, he can do exhibitions and make millions of dollars because he's 50-0 and he was focused. He said, he made a statement. He said, I train like I'm a pork boxer. Marvin Hagler said it's hard to get up and do your road work when you wake up with silk pajamas on. So these athletes and so forth, they're focused. They're hardened. They have endured. So the same thing with us. So any of you guys out there that takes breaks, any of you guys out there that don't do this work continuously and you're focused, any of you guys out there that miss 2 weeks of not a week, hell, 3 days of not doing a video, you better be in a goddamn coma or dead. If you ain't on fire about this thing, what was said in Revelation 3, verse 15? I used to open up with that when I had my class before we went out speaking back in the One West days, and I said, what scripture I want, and then somebody would go to Revelation 3, verse 15, and it says lukewarm. And I would look around and you would see guys tensing up. And there he goes, bringing out that scripture. And guess what? Every last one of them niggas fell off except for 2 people. I have 50 men under me. 50, 51, 52 men. Every last one of them fell off except Apostle Gabar and Bishop Nathaniel. It says, and they that dwell on the earth wonder, we're going to look up that word wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life. You take the jump shot, you vote, you're in the military, and then you got spies that's in the military that are infiltrating these camps. You got police that have, you know how many police we had and still have today, police that are a part of the GMS camp. I don't know about the state camp, but I know about New York. They're doing the bidding of this devil, and they're not written in the book of life. What's up, brother? I'm the elder. I'm a Gabar. He did a video. I watched it, and what I did was I took a copy of it and I put it on my Odyssey page. And he was going into this place with a long line of people, and he said the faces were all people that he knew from high school, and they all took the charagma, and then he even saw certain brothers that were Israelites took the charagma. And then he saw his woman that she was crying. She had bags or something, and she was crying because she lost everything. Guess what? You're going to lose everything. He that loses his life shall save it, and he that goes to save his life shall what? Lose it. So you better be ready to lose everything in order to get that's the ultimate test. That's the time of Jacob's trouble. That's the Revelation. Try the world. Revelation 3 and 10 is talking about the charagma. There's going to be a point in time where they're going to say you got to take it, and then there's going to be a deadline. And it's already happening over there in China, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was Roman Empire and is not, and yet is. Yet is what? This current system now. So now let's look up the word wonder, and I'm going to close on this. Let's look up the word wonder. The scripture said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, right? For if thou loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in you. That's in James, and that's also, I believe, that's 1 John. Either 1 John or 2 John. I'm almost positive it's 1 John. So what did I say I was going to do? Okay, let me look up the word wonder. See, Kyrie Irving, he has to be willing to lose everything to gain everything. If he's not willing to do that, he's gonna be destroyed. And what happened to Nick Cannon? He got an attitude adjustment. So guess what? He's gonna take the charagma, and he's gonna be destroyed. Your mama, if she's voting, if she took the jab, if she loved this society, she gonna forget about your mama. Let's look at the word wonder.
Strong's G 2296, Thalmadzo.
Let's see what it means. To wonder at, marvel, to be wondered at, to be had in admiration, to love. The word admiration admiration definition. respect and warm approval. So you approve of this place. You respect this place. Something regarded as impressive or worthy of respect. You respect somebody, you love them. Pleasurable contemplation. That's why John saw the woman sit on the scarlet colored beast and he wondered, which goes back to admiration, with great admiration. He saw her, probably saw her nipple, both nipples. She had her breasts open up, she had her legs showing, and it was an actual woman that was super fine. I mean, a super fine, super sexy woman that he got aroused by. That's why he said, I wondered after the beast with great admiration. So, as a matter of fact, let me go to that. Let me go to that. Maybe I did that in a previous video. Now, let me do this. And the angel checked him. So what the hell you fall in love with this? What you getting aroused with this bitch for? Revelation 17, verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, which represents the mass killings. You're gonna have to pay for it, man. The lynchings, the killings, the slavery. You're gonna have to, and they know that. They know that. They understand karma. They understand reciprocity. They understand payback. They understand payback as a bitch. Everything that you did to the Israelites is going to happen to you and then some. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. It goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. He lusted after the woman because she looked so fine. And it was an actual woman that he saw, which represents this system. It says, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? The hell you getting all, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about this fucking bitch? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. I'm gonna tell you about this hoe. And of the beast that carrieth her, and we know what that is. It's talking about which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So we read that already. We read that. I'm gonna get ready to close. And the woman which thou sawest, which you saw, an actual woman with the stilettos on and the dress with her legs showing and the thick ass sexy thighs and the breasts is showing. And the woman and John got aroused. And the angel said, what the fuck you looking at that bitch for? And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. That's talking about this place, Babylon. Anyway, to the video that inspired me to do this one. And I'll be listening to the part 2 of the video. With that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next one. Shalom.